Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my Pick a Card video. So today we're asking the question, what is my life purpose? So what's going to be the theme of your life, your sort of mission on this planet, if you believe in such a thing. If you don't, you could just take it as what you're just going to find comes naturally to you, what you're good at, what you will find personal satisfaction in, you know, in achieving and being. So we have option 1, 2 and 3. I will put the timestamps in the comment section and in the description box. In the description box you will find all the links necessary for the decks and everything else, and information on how to book a private reading with me. Everything you need is in the description box. So now I want you to relax, feel calm. Close your eyes, meditate on the question, what is my life purpose? And when you feel nicely relaxed and peaceful, make your choice. 1, 2 or 3. If you need a little bit more time to do that, then please press pause, because I'm now moving on to the readings. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. Let's put that to the side. What is your life's purpose? What will you find brings you happiness and satisfaction and accomplishments? We have the Gatekeeper, fairy time, time shifts, dimensional shifts. So, first of all, you're going to find happiness in change. Shimmer, glamour, confidence, allure and charisma. Light the darkness, ancestors, ancestral line, generational shift. Oops, I'm just cutting off the top. I do this all the time, cut off the edge of cards, the top of them. I'm not the best at framing my tarot readings. We also have 4 of Arrows, rest. 9 of Arrows, dedication. And 12, the Mirror. Give me a moment to just meditate upon this. Okay, so what really strikes me is that, yeah, you're meant to change, you're meant to find happiness in change. You're not meant to stay the same. Your life purpose is to change and to journey through life. And it's one where you're meant to find confidence in yourself, to find yourself beautiful, to and through that confidence be charismatic and alluring. You're meant to attract people to you because you're meant to be an example to them, I think. This is what I see anyway, that you're meant to show other people how they can lead a good life, perhaps, or how they can themselves change, because the Gatekeeper, she's very protective over what's going on through that door. And the meaning of the card generally is that once you go through the door, you're into fairyland and you're on fairy time. There's time shift, dimensional slips. You're meant to, you could be the sort of person that either really likes vintage stuff, retro stuff, really loves history, or the other side of that is that you are somebody that, you know, is ahead of their time. You know, that you're always ahead of the trends. You might be a mixture of the two. Who, you know, when some sort of clothes come out, you say, well, I was wearing that 3 years ago and now it's fashionable, you know, and I stopped wearing it last year, you know, that kind of thing. You're meant to be slightly out of sync, I think, with your generation. But this doesn't matter. You're still attractive, you're still glamorous and confident within yourself. Male or female, it doesn't matter. I know glamorous seems to come across as a very feminine thing, but you're confident within that. You're meant to find happiness within yourself and this sense of being slightly different, unique. And through that confidence, you will find that you are alluring and charismatic to quite a lot of people. Because we've got the ancestors, ancestral line, generational shift. You're meant to be slightly outside of your generation, but you're meant to light the darkness. You are meant to provide an example, to guide the way forward for a lot of people. So there are going to be people around you that say, oh gosh, I can't believe you did that, you know, you're so inspiring to me. Even if they don't come out and say that, they're probably possibly thinking it. But to you, you know, if you're at the moment thinking, oh, that makes me feel so wonderful, I love the idea that people are thinking that about me, in time that won't matter to you at all. You'll just be pleased that maybe somebody's leading a better life because of what you've done. Because you're meant to be full of bright ideas that help people through troubles, problems, or just teaching them how to be the best person they can be. Four of Arrows, rest. This sort of like gave me a bit of a pause. But actually I think that you are meant to be a deep thinker. You know, you might be a quieter person. You might be somebody who will go off, you know, an introvert that will go off and think about things very deeply on your own and meditate and mediate on it. So you've got this lovely balance between being private and even secretive, but not as in a you must never find this out, but more it's none of your business, secretive, you know, private, and also being out there and noticed and confident and attractive. So you're not somebody that's socially isolated, but that your life purpose is to simultaneously be out there and do things, but also to have your own thoughts, your own feelings that are not shared with anyone else, that you are meant to develop these internally. You know, you don't need to show you're working out, you just need to say, this is what I've learned. And there is something that you're meant to dedicate your life to. And I think that you are meant to be dedicated to it overall. So whatever your task is, whether you just set yourself an ambition, a project, something that you think, well, I've always wanted to grow vegetables in my garden, you're going to go off and do it. And you're meant to apply everything you've got to whatever's going on in your life at that time. Whatever the priority is, you're meant to dedicate yourself to it, that you're meant to focus on it. She's here not really focusing on what's going on, you know, going her own way, but she's protecting her back. You know, she's got the arrow pointed behind her. You know, the implication being that she'll fire off the arrow if something happens. And it's also the implication that all these other arrows is flying off in different directions. I think you're meant to do lots of different things, that you're meant to carry on this course of doing your own thing, changing, being unique and distinct, and having this sort of, you know, it's almost like the chrysalis moment here with this butterfly. You're meant to also do lots of different jobs, I think. I think some of you will start off to a few years, when your first job for a few years, and you'll get another job, do that for a few years. You change careers a lot, I think. Having a lot of change in your life, generational, dimensional slips, things will change in your life. So you might find that, you know, you think that your life is going to be like your parents, that you'll go to school in the same place, you'll get married in the same place, you'll raise your own kids in the same place and die there. A lot of you, I think, might find that that's not going to work out for you, that you might find that, in fact, instead, life brings you lots of opportunities to change and move. And actually, even if you do end up staying literally in your hometown, within yourself, you will change. Excuse me. You will change a lot within yourself, because we've got the moon, which in this particular deck is about the soul, the inner journey. And, you know, she's a woman of knowledge. So even if you're a man, it doesn't matter, lady or gentleman, it still counts. You're meant to pick up knowledge. So I think overall your life purpose is to gain wisdom, inner wisdom, that's then expressed outwardly. You know, whether that's one particular field that you feel drawn to, like one particular subject, like you want to become a professor in, you know, some sort of science, or even literature. Something where, you know, you have a certain uniqueness that makes you stand out, and you're meant to focus on that and gain this wisdom. Some of you, it's not a specific subject, it's just generally in life that you're meant to, you know, experience it and gain this wisdom because of this internalization of it. It's like drawing in experiences into your soul that then you learn from, and you gain all this wisdom, and then you're like, gift it out to the rest of the world. And that's your life purpose. So some of you could end up expressing that in a creative way. You could become songwriters, you could become just writers, you could become performers in like a dancer or an actor. Others of you could just blog about it, vlog about it. You could just do podcasts, or it could be that you're just the wise owl that all your friends turn to when they're in need. You know, a bit of an agony aunt or agony uncle. Yeah, that's your life purpose, to gain wisdom and then be an example and support others with this sort of taking within yourself. And you know, these are like the mysterious woman, the dark mysteries. She learns the dark mysteries, she understands, she's got the moon held in her hand, she understands things that other people don't. And for some of you, that's in a spiritual, mental, you know, soulful sense. And others of you, actually, it could just be that you're maybe absolutely spectacular at understanding astrophysics and you have a great scientific breakthrough, or a real understanding of an ancient culture or something. You know, whatever way it's for you, you will find that. So this card is meant to represent how you can achieve this life purpose, what's going to assist you in fulfilling this promise. If you believe. So you've got to believe in it. You've got to believe that that's your life purpose and that's what you can do. You've got to believe in yourself. Excuse me. So, sorry. You've got to believe that you can do this. That you can be this sort of person and that you can find happiness in it. Because actually, once you sort of, you know, are moving into this life purpose, again, it doesn't matter how you express it. If you express this in your spare time, but you have a career that you absolutely love and are devoted to, good. You don't have to give over every second of your life to it. You just have to sort of exist within it. So those of you that chose option 1, that sounds lovely, that you're a trendsetter, you're somebody that's different, you've got a unique view of things, the world, and you can process it. And you can also articulate it out. So whatever your area of interest is, wherever you feel this resonates with you, please let me know in the comments section. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself, and goodbye. Hello, those of you that chose option 2. This is your reading. So what is your life purpose? Let's take that away. Here we go. Dragon's pet, communication between species, animals, pets, magical companions and guardianship. So some of you working with animals is obvious, you know, or it's to have great relationships with animals or doing something for animals. So if you're not like a vet or, you know, working in a shelter or something like that, or, you know, it could be something to do with the guardianship that, you know, it's important to me, but also it's becoming more and more important in the world about our environment and animals and how it's going very badly for a lot of species on the planet because of climate change. There's lots of programs on that, documentaries and things you can read. I suggest you do. But you might find, instead of actively being in contact with animals to do that, that you would rather focus on like the communication between species, that we respect animals and learn to live with them. So you might dedicate yourself to conservationism or something along those lines, where you feel that you're being proactive in the support of other species. But some of you, it is to do literally with just taking care of animals, maybe fostering ones from the shelter before they get adopted. Follow me, come, this is your invitation to enter the realm of fairies. So let's have a look at this one as well. Starling in her sleep, unaware, unconscious, unawakened. Yeah, so I think a lot of you actually might become a bit of activists. I mean, it's a fine line when you do activism, because some people take it too far and they're very, you know, instead of being able to connect to other people and share, you know, your opinion and your experiences and trying to help a way through so that animals are taken care of and humans don't suffer either, Some just take it a bit, get very, I don't know how to say this, because sometimes they just take it too far and they do things that are not conductive and not helpful, and they just make themselves the enemy. True activism is trying to find a positive, proactive way forward where, in effect, both parties are happy with the solution, where, you know, animals' welfare is improved and protected, but you don't alienate the humans that can also lobby and get political support that opposes the protection of animals, as they say. Follow me. I think you're going to be a bit more of an activist. You're going to be a bit more of a excuse me, a, you know, like an influencer. I was trying to think of the word that you might, you know, look, this is a way that we can have a relationship with animals where they're allowed their wild freedom, but also we can, you know, share our land with them, and, you know, that kind of thing. This is interesting. Stolen in her sleep, unaware, unconscious, unawakened, because this is just implying that your destiny is not to be noticed, really, that you're not to fulfill your life's purpose. I don't believe that. I'm wondering if there's something in the book that I've, you know, might help me in that. I'm just going to look in the book, because I don't believe that isn't really helping me. What's your life purpose? To remain unawakened. She is so stuck, so set in her ways of fear and programming, that it is time for the powers of the deep elementals, the earth, to take her in so she can be transformed. You're meant to be transformed into, so you are meant to be in a state of your own current existence and then to be reawakened from it. So some of you might be at this point thinking, I don't care about animals, I'm not being somebody that's going to be proactive about how to treat pets or whatever. You're going to find that, so your life purpose is to be changed from what you are now to a state of unawakened to awakened. And it's interesting because it said the earth, and we are all of the earth, but, you know, animals, wildlife. You're meant to have a change of opinion, I believe, in regards to probably pets and how you communicate with the world. You might suddenly just think, wake up one morning and think, goodness, I've changed. God, I've changed so much. You're meant to have a dramatic change in your life somehow, in this life purpose. So you might have a life purpose that you believe you're existing right now, and that's all fine and dandy, and this is all completely different. You might find that it changes for a lot of you. I do apologise for my cough. So we've also got the green woman, the Empress, which is, you know, like the woman who lives in the field. It's like abundance, life, wildlife. You're definitely meant to do something with the planet, which is really interesting. I've had this theme a few times over various videos. Whether that's because I'm seeing it because it's important to me, I don't know. But it may be that there's somebody watching all the videos. 7 of Stones, healing. 3 of Vessels, joy. Okay. So the green woman is the Empress. So for some of you, your life purpose is to be a parent, to, yeah, it's the mother card. But I know that some men watch this, so I'm going to say father as well, just because of the generalisation of the readings. But yeah, it's about being abundant, about being a manifester, to have the seed of something and to grow it, like a woman gets the sperm and it fertilises the egg and then she incubates the baby till birth. It's the abundance and the growth of something. So if children are not what you want, that you are meant to have something, and I said that there's a stolen in the sleep, being in a certain state and then being reborn. You're meant to have a change in your life that makes you abundant in some way and allows you to create something new, whether that's your own individual life, whether it's more globally like a mindset, or whether it's just on your own personal level, and that you have an attitude change that doesn't change anything to do with the tangible aspects of your life. Like, you're not going to leave a relationship, move home, or end your job. There's just something possibly within you that you are meant to change, that's going to allow you to lead a more abundant life, to lead a life of creation, rather than being passive, to be active. And we've got the 7 of Stones, which is healing. And what we've got here is somebody, you know, the green woman is covered in leaves, oak leaves, all these, I don't know what leaves they are, but all these leaves, growing from within out. And it's then paralleled by this person here, this woman here, who is trying to heal this sick gentleman in the magic stone circle. So some of you are meant to move. I'm just drawn again to some of you might end up choosing to become sort of the welfare of animals. Something as wonderful as a vet, but if that's not your skill set, you might do something where you're a vet's assistant, or working again actively taking care of animals, or making it your life purpose to support others to do that, you know, and provide healing in a different way. And you're meant to be happy. You're meant to be with people. This is the, you know, stolen in her sleep, unconscious. She's surrounded by these people. They're all touching. She's got a clue. All these weird hands of these weird goblin things are over her. She's oblivious. But then you're meant to be in a state of joy where you're out with friends, you know, celebrating. It's usually the three women having a party. In this deck as well, this also can refer to travel because it's three cranes. So I think you're meant to be in movement. I think you're actually in a point of stagnation, but you're actually meant to change and be in movement. And for some of you, animals are a significant part of that. And for others of you, that might not manifest in that way. It's more to do with being abundant and being able to be in charge of your own life. You know, is it you come follow me into what I'm doing, and just being happy and be joyful over your life. That's your life purpose, to overall be happy. That's the most, you know, weirdly, this is the most important card here. It's to be joyful and abundant, and to be, you know, the creator of your own life. And for those of you that have been in some sort of pain or illness, that whether you've got a bit of depression or something else, you're meant to heal. You're meant to heal from that. And for some of you, pets will help. Animals are wonderful. You know, whether it's a cat, a dog, or a bunny rabbit, just something that you can get comfort from, emotional comfort. You might find that's the way through. But that's your purpose in life generally. More widely, to do something about being reawakened. And it might be a more personal journey about just getting better. So this card is meant to be advice on how you can live this, how you can fulfill this potential. Ask help from others. So are some of you being a bit isolated? Is it time to reach out to close loved ones in order to get to this position? If some of you say, oh my God, this is true, I've always wanted to work with animals, whatever. There are people around you that will help you get the connections you need, or give you the opportunity to work with animals. If you're in a position where, you know, you are a bit lethargic and depressed and lacking, you know, you're a bit stagnant, ask for help from others in order to reach out and get the help you need. Yeah. You're meant to be happy. So those of you that chose option 2, that is your reading. If this resonates, if you feel that this is your life purpose, please leave me a comment. Otherwise, I shall leave you with this. Please take very good care of yourself. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, here is your reading. What is your life purpose? Put that there. So we have the Unicorn and the Maiden. Communication with Unicorn. Purification undercover action. Child of the Moon. Forgiveness. Transcending the ego. Midnight Prince. Ask for what you want. Be honest. Okay, so overall your life purpose. I think a lot of you are meant to work with kids because, you know, the idea of the communication with Unicorn, communication with purity, undercover action and purity. It's it just always reminds me of the purity of kids, you know, about their innocence. And, you know, the unicorn's a mythical beast, which is no surprise. It's that kind of deck. So you've got to find a parallel within the real world that we all actually live in. So, you know, it's about being peaceful, calm, they're peaceful and calm, they're loving each other. You're meant to be in unity with lots of things in the world. You're not meant to be a mover and a shaker, I don't think. I think you're meant to just, we've got transcending the ego. You're meant to be beyond that. You're meant to be a chillaxed person that's not getting involved in all the mess. You're a bit of a peacekeeper. You're meant to, the idea of purification is not having any of the rubbish in your life. Rubbish inevitably comes into your life. You can't help it. You're going to meet bad people. You're going to have the odd bad relationship. You're going to have a few horrible co-workers and people that you have fights with, and parents at your kids' school and teachers and all the rest of it. But by and large, what you're meant to do is move beyond that and say, yeah, there is trouble here, but I'm not interested in it, so go away. And I'm not arguing with you. I'm not having some sort of social media feud or something. You're just meant to, move on from it. You're not meant to be somebody that has a stand-up fight outside their front door. Very much the peacekeeper and being subtle and not out there and overt. Child of the Moon, forgiveness, transcending the ego. I really love this card because it's saying you're just letting go of the rubbish, forgiving, moving on. This is it, you're chillaxed and peaceful. You think, well, do you know what? I don't need this rubbish. And also, transcending the ego is knowing that it's not always about you. Knowing that sometimes we are in the wrong, we say the wrong thing, we do the wrong thing, we make the wrong choices, and we just, sabotage ourselves, not purposefully, but just sort of screw things up. And you're meant to learn that and sort of go, hey ho, I've done it, let's move on. And forgiving yourself just as much as forgiving others, and not letting things hold you back. And remember, forgiveness, you can forgive somebody that's wronged you. It doesn't mean that you have to have them in your life anymore. You can just go, you know what, I'm forgiving you and I'm letting you go and moving on. You don't have to stay with someone or be in a connection with somebody that's no good for you just because you think, I'm going to forgive you and we'll just let it go back to the way it was. No. Midnight Prince, ask for what you want, be honest. Even though you've got this sense of being quite a passive person, you're not meant to be a pushover. You're meant to still be bold and assertive, but in a calm way. You're not going to, like when you go to the shop or the store, if you're in America, you go to the shop and you're standing in the queue and then there's somebody screaming their head off at the front because they have this strong sense of entitlement, and they're screaming, they're behaving like a big kid and having a tantrum, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, what on earth is this? How can a grown adult behave in such a shabby way? And you're listening to it and you think, well, I want the same thing. So you get to the front of the queue and you don't scream and shout and throw yourself to the floor. What you do is you say quietly and calmly, I need a refund on this item. This is why I need it. Be honest, and you will get it. You will get what you want. Like being soft. It's like it's using honey to catch more bees. Oh, what's the phrase? I can't think. It's on the tip of my tongue. Being softer and more gentle. But you're meant to ask for what you want. You're not meant to say, oh, I'll just go along with what you want. You say, oh, no, actually, I don't want to go to that restaurant tonight. I'd like us to go to so-and-so restaurant. So this is it. This is the balance, that you're meant to be calm and reasonable and cooperative and willing to have things be nice and calm and peaceful and sweet, but to not compromise. You're not meant to compromise in life. You're meant to realise that your inner strength comes from within, and that your understanding of yourself and your true value, but that you don't overvalue yourself. You don't expect it all to be about you. You don't have that sense of entitlement. You're meant to know your own value in a very quiet, understated way, but also to be uncompromising about what it is that you need in life. That's good. That's about being a grown-up. In a weird way, you're just meant to grow up. But not you lose that youthful sense of whatever. I'm trying to think of the right word, to not use that youthful sense of wonder and innocence and joyfulness. So what else have we got? The wanderer. Yeah, you're not, yeah, the fool, the wanderer, going along an uninhibited journey. You're meant to go along in life not being worried about things failing, about things going wrong. You know that things will always be right. Whatever happens, you trust yourself. The moon on the water, that's interesting. Oh, right, so exploitation, 6 of stones. I think I get this now. You are meant to, you're going to have lots of adventures in life. You're meant to go off and explore new things, whether that's a physical journey or a mental or emotional one. It doesn't matter. You are meant to explore. And travel is not possible for everybody due to money or physical circumstances or social circumstances. You know, travel is not an option for everyone. So whether it's localized, you know, like traveling distance, you know, like a day trip or something, it doesn't matter. Travel might come into that, but you know, a lot of you are not going to be able to go off for a year and, you know, trek the Amazonian rainforest. You're just not. Most of us can't. But you can go through an internal journey where you discover about the world. There's, you know, documentaries and stuff, but you're meant to explore. Oh, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. You're meant to as well sort of have a deep connection to your subconscious. That you are meant to, I think, have an internal journey. It doesn't mean that you won't travel, but I think you're meant to have an internal journey of exploring your intuition, your consciousness, of you know, understanding the human psyche, the cycles of the world, the universe. It's about taking information into your soul. It's really interesting. You're meant to be a deep, soulful person. This is like old soul territory, really, where you're not going to let things drag you down. You'll sort of be that sort of person where they're eternally youthful, they're eternally positive. Yeah, it's because you don't let the negative hold you back. That's what you're meant to do in life, is to be overall a positive person even though life happens. And you're really meant to take it within. You're really meant to grow soulfully about it, to have the undercurrent, to have the things that happen in life, but to have the undercurrent where you take it within yourself and you really develop your intuition and spirituality. It's just amazing. And we've got the 6 of stones, which is exploitation, which is, I don't think you're meant to exploit anything, by the way. I think what you're meant to do is help those who have been exploited. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is your sensitivity and your understanding, and the fact that you don't let things hurt you, that maybe you can dip into the more darker sides of human nature. So some of you might end up working, you know, almost like in the police, where you can investigate crime and you can withstand it because you've got the maturity. And some of you might decide to do something where you work with the disadvantaged, like the homeless, where you might go into therapy or something where you can help those that have been exploited, help those that have been disadvantaged. Yeah, I think that you have great potential to do wonderful things. And I think, yeah, you're meant to really wrestle with your unconscious, with your spirituality, with the negative sides of life. So actually, some of you might not decide to actively work in fields that involve disadvantaged people, but you might become involved in it in a certain way and have an interest in it that you then express in a different way. So you might just read lots of books on true crime or something, or be somebody that helps others, like working in a refuge. you're meant to help other people, I think, in whatever way you can, with whatever time that you've got, that you might find that this is your true purpose, your true work. But it's a moon card. It's all about the subconscious, about drawing it within yourself and exploring your subconscious and your dream world, and the world where you take in information but it doesn't always necessarily make sense. And it's about your instinct, the instinct of your mind that is constantly picking up information, but is filtering it out so you can focus on one particular thing. And you're meant to develop that connection between all the information that you're picking up and then what you can do with it, and to help in some way, whatever's important to you, whether it's people, animals, whether it's like exposing fraudsters or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's important to you for that exploitation. So this is meant to be a bit of advice to help you to fulfill this potential, to live this abundance. That's interesting. So I think what's going to help you is to feel abundant, and I think that probably help you with this sense of exploitation, that if you feel that you've got everything you need, everything in your heart, it's not talking necessarily about money. I know she's got money there, so for some of you, you might want to, you know, feel that you're in a stable position financially before you can help others. That's fine. You can't give away what you need in order to live, so get yourself a nice job that pays well and get yourself on your feet before you start. Others of you might think that this represents getting a job doing this kind of thing, and that's how you're going to earn your income. That's fine as well. But I think it's about feeling abundant in your heart and soul, about feeling that you have everything you need, that you are everything that you need, that you're not looking to other people to find your own happiness. Happiness comes from within. You're not going to find it with another person. You know, they're going to enhance that happiness, they're going to aid that happiness, but they're not going to provide it for you. You can only find your own happiness within yourself, and that's happiness with who you are, what you're doing, and how you're living your life. And when those things fall apart, you're not happy, and that's when you have to be active and change, and either find happiness with what's going on, or you have to pursue the happiness or pursue the things that you know will bring you happiness. So yeah, you've got to have that happiness within yourself, and be an abundant person and not worry about the small stuff. I like that reading. I think you've got a lot to give in your life purpose, that you're really going to be a helper. In whatever way, you're going to be a helper. And because of this confidence, to show others that you can be happy in yourself and be abundant in yourself, no matter the circumstances that you find yourself in, that you can move from that. So those of you that chose option 3, that is a beautiful reading. I enjoyed giving it you. So please let me know in the comments section if it resonates with you at all. I wish you all the best of luck for future. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye.